I thought I could do something cute with that little green screen thing that Instagram is doing right now, but apparently I can't. And I am very disappointed because that was going to take the show to another level. But you know, man plans, God laughs, all that jazz. I'd like to welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Inside the Rapper Studio. You can send the request, Ricky. We're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, everybody had a solid weekend, or what we consider the weekend, being as though time is very misconstrued at this point. Um, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this episode. I feel like I'm kind of breaking fourth wall, interviewing people that do interviews. You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear, brother.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, please welcome to episode 46 of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score Sway. Today, we have a very special guest in the building today. He is a multimedia magician. He does podcasts, he does interviews, he does music, he does videos to an extent. Do you do videos like videos or just videos for you?
This video's for me. I actually hate doing that shit.
Ah, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
But he does videos as well. Everybody, please welcome the one and the only drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for Ricky Jacobs.
This shit fun.
I try to make it fun. Like I'm going to be completely honest with you, interviewer to interviewer. This is a very easy fucking process. Like I legit wake up, don't even think about the episode until like a good 30 minutes into waking up, do the promo, do all
Mm-hmm.
the social media that I can, get the
Mm-hmm.
fuck off the phone
Mm-hmm.
until it's like showtime. And after that, it's all systems go. It's honestly an easy production.
For sure, especially when people want to open up to you, man. It's kind of like they doing all the work for you. So you just got to provide the platform, and voila, there you go.
Lazy nigga like myself, this is the best job I've ever had. Completely. So, how are things?
Everything is everything, and everything is good, bro. Copacetic. How about yourself?
Another day on Earth. Can't really complain over here. I mean, besides, racism. But yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Right.
So, for every episode, if you may or may not know, there's an origin story to how the guests got started with music. So could you tell us the legend, the origin story of the artist known as Ricky Jacobs?
Ricky Jacobs was just a kid from West Baltimore at that time, who was just a gifted motherfucker, man. He just loved making music, but it was more so it was therapeutic for me. And when my mother passed away, that's when I kind of like just turned everything up from there, right? It was one of those things where um if I wasn't proactive or productive, any type of shape, form, fashion, then I would drive myself insane. So it kind of just started with me just working on music. Yeah, I mean, just keep myself busy, man. Because if I wasn't working on music or creating anything, then I would be mourning my mother's death and shit like that. So it kind of started off from there. Everything kind of happened by design. It wasn't planned. And it's really what it was, man. Like I was just turning the fuck up.
Got you. So for the therapy side and mental health side of music, essentially a lot of musicians don't really use it nowadays in terms of like I guess people that are like out there per se. Um, how do you feel as though the benefits are for you as a musician to use music as a coping mechanism?
Um, that's a good ass question, bro. God damn, nigga.
I'm out for the fences like early. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial because I mean it's just like to create something from scratch. I mean, like from your soul, your core, and to just see what it produces into. Sometimes that isn't even really planned, man. Everything is kind of like a feeling process, and I just think like once you finish recording, and as you know, you play back and listen to it, you just it's nothing more rewarding than getting the feedback from whether it's your friends or families or just people that don't know who you are from a can of paint and just giving you all this feedback, and then that's kind of like affirmation for me, like I'm doing something right or I'm good at something, even though it's like I kind of already knew like what's good and what's bad. Even when I'm creating it, like I like so I like to think I held myself accountable for bad shit that I created, but it's always good to see how everybody feels about your music and then how they resonate with music. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing more rewarding than that, for real.
You mentioned about like affirmation or having that affirming feeling with the music and things like that. Do you feel as though you get the appropriate amount of love or like a lot of love from your constituents within the city?
Hold on, you say consensual. I'm on Google, but you say consensuants. How you
Your,
spell that?
your partner, them, your mans,
My
your colleagues.
Oh, all right, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, no, for sure, man. I got the most love from my peers. And the most beautiful thing about that journey is like I was making music with my peers. I mean, that was really what all it, music was all about for me. Like I never really did it for the sake of clickbait or just trying to be in a certain circle of people, certain realm of individuals that I just didn't fit in. So I think the most important thing for me was to create in that world where my peers were involved, and the only thing that's really the only thing that mattered before I kind of presented it to, for lack of a better term, like the masses and shit like that. So yeah, if that answers your question.
It does. It definitely does. You'd be surprised how many people do the ballerina around my damn questions. Uh, so
And so I got to answer the question, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to talk to you about your early beginnings within making music because there seems to be, correct me if I'm wrong, there seems to be like a transition from the musician Rickie Jacobs to the interviewer Rickie Jacobs. So could you tell us about the musician side of Rickie Jacobs?
Um, well, there's a lot of people know, for real, to be honest, yo. When I started music, I did it because I love to listen to it, and then like once I got to the phase of like creating it, that's all I wanted to do until it got to the point where it started feeling like a job, like doing interviews. I hate doing interviews, to be honest with you, the irony of that. But everything that kind of like fundamentally connected to making music, I come to find out music was like the least important thing. And that right there, for me, like that's something that I never really want to associate with. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just doing that shit for the love, for real, bro. So once it started feeling like a job, I just said fuck that shit. And I'm like, I like to think I'm an introvert. I'm not the social media introvert. I'm not the trend introvert. I'm like a nigga that just don't. I don't like muff. I just don't like people. I'ma just keep it up. Don't like people I like is my people. So once I'm in these spaces with people that I feel like the energy is just a little bit too high for my frequency, I gotta kind of detach myself from these environments, for real, for real. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what kind of transitioned me into not fucking with music, because I found myself in spaces and places, events with people that just talk that small talk. Hey, we gotta link up. Hey, I'm feeling the movement. All that dumbass shit that you say every time you see a nigga every 4, 5, 6 months. The same script, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, I was like, yo, this is really getting repetitive. It's getting redundant, and there's no processes, not process. I'm sorry, no progress from these conversations that we have every 3 to 9 months we see each other. So I'm just going to do my thing because I always created within a bubble in my own world. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though with a person with as much passion as you that has all this passion within music and to kind of see, I guess, the ghoulish side of music where it's not a lot of life, it's just a bunch of work, it's just a bunch of politics, it's just a bunch of facades. Do you feel as though that kind of rips out your soul when it comes to making music?
Oh, for sure, bro. Because again, like you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something like your art. And me, I'm just one of those that really cared about the artistry of this shit, man. I don't give a fuck about none of that stuff. I don't care about doing a song with X, Y, and Z, taking pictures and shit like that. Like I'm not really about that. And I think even through my years, like when I was in, I guess, my prime shit, like that's what I was finding myself doing, like being in around people that I really just didn't mesh with on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? That's why the liquor with friends shit is so important. But I ain't gonna hop, get to I'm not going to say that. That's your job.
I mean, I got my segment for Liquor with Friends. I just want to make sure I'm having a solid build up until Liquor with Friends, because Liquor
Oh
with
yeah.
Friends.
Well, like to be honest, bro, I I I don't really have the temperament to deal with like frequencies that just doesn't match mine, bro. I really don't like being fake. And I feel like being fake or kind of like stepping outside your comfort zone, and I'm not talking about creatively. I'm talking about from a network perspective. You know what I'm saying? When I find myself coming out of my comfort zone and having these conversations with people I just didn't relate to on a personal level, I wasn't comfortable. And that's really what my life is I advocate for comfortability, bro. That you know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm not comfortable, I'm just not going to be around these people. So
Gotcha. You
yeah.
mentioned comfortability, and a lot of the times when it comes to people, I guess, reaching out to that next level, they always say you got to get comfortable with your uncomfort zone. Do you feel as though with the level of success that you have, you've kind of contradicted that?
Yeah, but I was only doing it because somebody told me to do it. And I really don't like doing what people tell me to do. This shit was all about doing what you wanted to do, yo. Like hip hop never started as a compromising art form. You feel what I'm saying? And I am a student of that foundation. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want to do. If you on the same page as me, all right, we can meet in the middle. You may have some ideas that might complement my weaknesses, and my strengths might complement your weaknesses as a man. Because we are human beings, we all kind of learn this shit as we go. And I feel like when we start these things and take it to the aspect of like doing business, I feel like everybody is learning on the fly. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody knows everything. You know what I'm saying? But you have a population of people online who think they know every motherfucking thing, and they born in 1995. Nigga, I'm born in 1986 and I don't know everything, nigga. I'm still young compared to a lifetime. You know what I mean? My life expectancy. You feel what I'm saying? So, nah, fuck that shit. And do what you want, man. If it take you longer, then it takes you longer. If you want to take the shortcut, be my guest. That's your prerogative. But that's not mine, you dig? So yeah.
Got you. Great answer to that question, by the way. But of course, I wouldn't have to like. It'll have to be a great answer from a person that does interviews a lot. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, not to break fourth wall or anything like that, but I feel like as a person that does interviews, you know how to give an interview instead of get an interview. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro. And that really comes from like I said, when it comes to anything that I put my hands on or I subscribe to, I want to be the best at it no matter what it is. And it's not a phase, it's not nothing that I'm jumping on that I'm just trying out and see how it goes. Like I love every element of art, you know what I'm saying? And biggest thing with that is um I talk to my people. I don't talk to people that I know like I can't relate to. You know what I'm saying? So I always think ahead, I always empathize, especially being an artist, what type of questions would I want the person to ask me? I'm not gonna ask them no dumbass shit that they're gonna spin the rella around. You feel me? Like I'm not going to um tarnish my integrity. And I'm not gonna put people in a position where they're uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Pretty much in a for artist by artist kind of vibe, so to
yeah.
speak.
It's not my platform. It's our platform, bro. I say that shit all the time, man. Look, it's with friends. It's not my platform. Our platform.
Gotcha. I mean, that's definitely a great way to look at it, because a lot of times, like, people get like, I don't want to say egotistical, but they kind of just put it on a mantle, whereas though like this is a trophy of mine, this is what I do, rah rah rah. Whereas though it's more so public service, so to speak. Whereas though you're doing something for your colleagues, I don't want to say constituents again, is doing something for your colleagues and pretty much making sure they have a platform whereas though they can express themselves not just as musicians but as actual human beings.
Absolutely. And that is the most important things to me, because we all can kind of get an idea of what an individual, what an artist is like based off their music, but I don't think that's a fair assessment until you actually get them in these spaces where they can be transparent, they can give it up, they can tell you about, you know, their trials and tribulations, their experiences in a comfortable environment, and you know it's all love at the same time. You know, I'm blessed and fortunate to get this type of energy from everybody that I interview. And that's very important to me because a lot of people don't know these artist stories and they kind of judge off the music. And that's not really a fair way to look at people. You know what I'm saying? Not and even just we can even take it a thought further to social media. Like I talk a lot of shit on social media, I bullshit a lot, but that's not really who I am as a person. I don't take none of that shit serious because it's really not serious. It's not serious. A lot of the shit on social media is edited, even the serious shit. So, I mean, that's just a whole nother conversation.
No, trust me, I got 45 minutes. I always tell people like, I don't want people to do the whole like that's a whole nother conversation. It might no like
Oh,
this
all right, all right, all right.
5 hour or until my phone dies or until Xfinity becomes Xfinity. So like
Oh no, we good over here, bro.
yeah. So before we get into that, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break. I'm gonna make sure everything's like solid with the connection and all that stuff. Then we
You
just
got
gonna
a commercial? How you do that?
I just end it and then people just go to my story. That's what I consider my commercial breaks.
Oh, all right. I'm
It's
about to
trust,
say, what?
trust me, if I did, I would not be doing this in my house. But but yeah, we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
All right, brother.